Hey guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and it's time once again to look at my stuff. That's right, it's another haul video. Recently, I took a trip out to Columbus, Ohio. It was my first time ever being there, but I went out for the weekend to visit with some friends. And while I was there, I visited some of the local places, and I was taken to a local toy shop there called Big Fun. So some of you maybe that are from the area have heard of this store, have even been to this store. I posted some pictures on my Twitter and everything while I was there, and I had a few people responding to me saying that they had shopped there before. It was a really cool store. I had a lot of fun just kind of digging through. Really packed little store. I mean, it was just filled with all kinds of great things. And the owners there, I chatted with them too while I was checking out and leaving. So I got to give a big shout out to the awesome people that run Big Fun. It's a really great store in Columbus, Ohio. I would recommend checking it out if you're in the area. I'm going to show you the cool things that I bought while I was there. Because you know me, if I'm going to wander into a toy store, I'm going to walk out with stuff. And there were lots of fun things to walk out with. First of all, they had tons of stuff, like a great variety of amazing things. They had a great case that was filled with like some vintage Masters of the Universe stuff. There was some stuff in there that I really kind of wanted to pick through. There was a lot of carded stuff. I mean, I easily could have spent a lot of money here, but I kind of held back. I opted to more go for like some of the loose stuff. There was lots of bins. He had lots of bins in the shop, like separated things out that was like filled with loose toys. And I'm a sucker for that sort of thing. You guys know that. I say that on here all the time when I go to toy shows. So I looked at everything in the store and kind of opted to just like dig through these bins and see what I could find. So that's where most of the stuff I picked up came from. There's a few other things in the store I grabbed while I was there as well. But just a really great selection of stuff. Old magazines and stuff too. It was great. Like a bunch of old Nintendo Power stuff was there, which I always love. Old WWF magazines, I mean, all kinds of cool stuff like that. So, I mean, great shop. So let me start showing you some of the things that I dug out of these bins. I'm going to start with all this loose figure stuff, because I was digging through these loose figure bins, just pulling out anything in there that looked interesting to me that I might want to add to my collection. And we'll start with this! Launchpad McQuack! What a crazy action feature. This is from the Darkwing Duck toy line from Playmates Toys. But of course, any of you old Disney Afternoon fans will remember that Launchpad McQuack was on both Darkwing Duck and he was first on DuckTales. This is really cool because the Darkwing Duck line was going to give us a lot of cool... Well, I mean, like, they did give us some cool figures. I have Darkwing Duck from that line. I didn't have Launchpad, so that's part of the reason I picked him up. He was only a couple bucks. And he's in great shape. He doesn't have any accessories, but I mean, he looks great. He's going to display great. And it's really cool because I liked Darkwing Duck, but I've always been a bigger DuckTales fan, so that's part of the reason I wanted this so bad. There was going to be a Gizmo Duck in that line, too. I think it got canceled before it came out. Oh, I would love to have a Gizmo Duck toy. But still, Launchpad McQuack. I love it. He's a great little figure. Put him over here. All right. If any of you guys follow my Twitter or my Facebook or my Instagram account, you likely saw me playing with this figure the whole weekend after I bought him. He basically became my travel buddy with me after I found him. This is a Last Action Hero figure from Mattel of Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm just such a sucker for Arnold Schwarzenegger toys. I didn't have this one. This one's supposed to have a lot of really cool accessories that I wish I had with it. He's supposed to have guns in either one of his hands, and I think he had like a trench coat or something that he would like break out of, like he was undercover. One day I'll have to get a complete one. But this is still in really great shape, and for like $2, I was like, well, I'm buying this Arnold Schwarzenegger toy, and then I'm going to take pictures of him all over town, and that's what I did. So there he is, the famous Arnie that hung out with Pixel Dan for a weekend. Yeah, go check out the Pixel Dan on Instagram. Do it now! I know, it's the worst impression ever, but it's really fun to do for some reason. I've talked about these figures on the haul videos in the past. It was a line from Mattel called King Arthur and the Knights of the Round, right? Or Knights of Justice? The King Arthur toy line. I don't know why the name is escaping me at the moment. But the reason this line is so cool is it came in the early 90s, I believe. Late 80s, early 90s. There was a cartoon series that it was based upon. But they totally... Oh, 92. There you go. It says it on the figure. 92. They totally did these kind of in the style of vintage Masters of the Universe. Now, obviously, they've got a lot more sculpting. You know, they're not like really sharing the same bodies, but you can see they're all in that same 5.5-inch squat poses. I'm just throwing them around. There you go. This is, I believe, Darren. Sir Darren, I think is his name. There you go. See, I can pull the little helmet off. He's got a nice cheesy face sculpt underneath there. But this is a really fun line. I actually picked up a couple carded King Arthur figures at Kane County last time. You guys might remember that. I don't have very many loose ones. I have a loose Arthur, so now I've got this guy to add to the collection. He was really great. He's got his weapon. He's in great shape. Just a fun line, and obviously since I am a big Masters of the Universe fan, I like collecting all of the toys that are very similar to that style, and this is a pretty fun line, so that's why I picked him up. So speaking of toys that are similar in style, really excited about both of these pickups. These are from the Remco Warrior Beasts line. I love these Remco figures. They're like knockoffs, right? They're Masters of the Universe knockoffs. But they've really gained a following, and they're far more expensive to pick up than most actual Masters of the Universe figures now. So anytime I can find them in good shape for decent prices, I love picking them up. I didn't have either of these two. I believe this one's name is Snake Man, crazy enough. I don't remember what this one's name is, but just a really crazy like dinosaur looking guy, which is awesome. Snake Man's missing his tail. He's supposed to have a tail on the back. But still, these are in great shape. I mean, the joints are pretty tight except for his arm's a little loose, but the rest of the joints, I mean, really great. They're in great condition. Really fun, unique looking characters. That's what I loved about the Remco lines. They really created some awesome sculpted characters. And they just, I mean, like, seriously, they fit in with your master stuff, or they display well on their own. I have a whole shelf now that's like dedicated to all of these other 5.5-inch figure lines. So these guys will be joining that shelf. Actually, that shelf is quite a mess, just like the rest of my toy room right now. I really need to get that toy room straightened out. You guys keep asking me. I'm sorry, I'm just the worst. I have no time. I have no time for all this. Come on, guys, stay standing. There you go. All right, let's talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I actually found a bunch of Ninja Turtles. There was a whole bin there filled with loose Turtles figures, so I always dig through just to see what I can find. I have a ton of vintage loose Turtle figures already in my collection, but there were so many of them, and they spanned such a huge period of time. They started making those in like 88, and they seriously produced them till like 98 or something crazy like that. 97, 98. I mean, it was like a 10-year-long toy line. That's crazy for a toy line. So there's a lot of stuff that I don't have. So digging through this bin, I found some really cool things. I did not have this figure of Mikey. It's like a superhero Mikey. There was a Donatello in this style too, which I need to get at some point because I love that style. But really great, really clean figure. No accessories. That's always the downfall to picking out loose figures in a bin. You usually can't find the accessories. But that Mikey is so great, right? Look at that. He's so clean. He looks great. Really, really good figure. So that was in there. I think the bins are like, they got a price on the bins, but some of the figures inside, they all had price tags on them. But the great thing is like, you know, usually if you're buying a bunch of stuff at once, you can usually kind of talk down the price. And I believe the awesome people that ran Big Fun gave me all the loose figures for $2 a piece. So we made that solid deal on there. So that's what I paid for all these guys. This Rocksteady figure is amazing. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this before. It's from a line called Basham Masham Turtles, I think, something like that. It's basically Rock'em Sock'em Turtles. You like that name? Mash'em Bash'em or whatever? Very similar to Rock'em Sock'em. Same concept. The difference is they came with like these green guns basically that you plugged into the back. You can kind of see where it would plug in. And it had like the triggers on there which made the gloves move. Like you'd move the arms so that you can basically play Rock'em Sock'em, and then when they get punched in the chest, the head pops up. So it's the same concept obviously as Rock'em Sock'em, but look at how great is the sculpt on this figure, right? I mean, man, dude, these vintage turtles are so cool, so rad. So I didn't have any of these, and of course I don't have the gun for this, but I still had to have it. It's just a really great looking figure. This one is really odd, and I know that there's a lot of these ones that are kind of based on like the anime film, and I have some of the anime type turtles, but I had never seen this one before, so I'm not exactly sure what this one's called or what specific line he's from. He's dated 96, so like I was way out of buying these at this point, so I missed this whole weird line. But look at that, he's very lean. You can see he's like, if you look at him like next to a standard turtle figure, he's taller but he's way skinnier in build. So just a really crazy like Japanese like design. He's got this weird like clear gem thing on his chest. And you can see like the small turtle shell type thing on the back. He's got like all these places where it looks like you could plug in accessories. And this is the thing that's really crazy. He's totally got like this, look at that. He's like got this Power Ranger head morphing feature, basically, where he's got like a standard looking turtle head. Isn't that crazy? So like it just kind of folds down, it flips around, and then it brings that up right there. It's amazing. Like, obviously, I would never ever like admit to knowing everything about every toy, right? So it's really fun when I get genuinely surprised by stuff like this, because I love Ninja Turtles toys. I have a ton of Ninja Turtles toys. I collected those from when I was a kid, but like I said earlier, like they started coming out in like '88. By the time this one came out, I was like in high school and I wasn't really buying toys anymore, so I missed out on a lot of stuff that came towards the end of this line, and this is definitely one of them. This is really cool, really unique. He's not, I mean, like, he's pretty beat up, the paint and everything's chipping, but I don't know, he's so weird and unique, I couldn't pass him up, and I'm going to be looking into those and probably buying more of those now. This one I was so excited about. I've been wanting to add this one to my collection forever. This is the Toon Turtles Shredder figure. He's basically just a repaint of the standard Shredder that came out, but he's colored to look like the cartoon look. So he's wearing a gray shirt instead of being shirtless. He's got that silvery bluish colored helmet, really cool metallic paint. They had a whole line of Toon Turtles, and it's actually one of my favorite variants in the vintage line, where they made them very animated looking, the 4 turtles, and then we also got like Irma and Vernon and Byrne and all those guys, and then we got this Shredder. I've been wanting this Shredder forever, and I never find it, and when you look it up online, it's always really expensive. So to get this in a bin, even though he doesn't have any accessories or a cape, for $2, I could not pass it up. I'm so glad I got it. And I'm pretty sure I have an extra, like, regular purple Shredder cape floating around that I could put on him, so it'll make him look a little bit better. But yeah, that's, oh man, this is probably one of my favorite of the turtle finds that I got that day. And man, vintage Shredder just, it's the worst pose ever, right? Like, obviously I have a soft spot in my heart for all the figures in this vintage line, but look, you can just not really, look at that crazy stance you got to get him in to keep him standing. It's nuts. All right, so this is really cool, and this is another one that I didn't know existed. This is from the Microverse line, the Micro Turtles, and I actually have a bunch of the Micro Turtles. They folded out into play sets. They had little minifigures and vehicles. They were basically like Mighty Max or Polly Pocket, if anybody remembers those, but they were turtles. And I've got a bunch of them. I actually have this specific one in my collection already, but not that's chromed green like this. I don't think I've ever seen a chromed green one, and that's why he stood out to me. So you can see it's very shiny, very metallic, really cool. And when you open it up, it has the turtle sewer layer on the inside. So like I said, I've got the standard regular version of this that's just painted normal. This didn't have any of the minifigures in it, but I've got a bunch of the minifigs. And I couldn't pass this up just because I love shiny things. I really do. I've never seen a vac metal one of these before, so it's another thing that I just obviously missed in my childhood on these. But this is really cool. I love it. What a great play set. Look at that. It's got the, oh man, it's got the little sewer pipes in here, and it's got the little, it's cool they worked in a lot of the features from the actual sewer layer playset. I mean, look at that. The mouth opens up, and it's got like the little spyglass there and the little thing they can look in. And just like we got this little like dungeon type thing right here, like lock up the bad guys. And I mean, it's just a really fun. I'll have to do, maybe one day I'm gonna have to get out like all my Micro Turtles and do a video on them, as if I don't have enough to do already. I don't know why I say things like that. Make you guys promises that I won't be able to keep. All right, so a couple more things I picked up. This one I'm really excited about. Check this out. Double Dragon, the board game. So if you guys have followed my channel for a long period of time, you might know that I'm a huge fan of toys and board games that are based on video games. I mean, that was kind of what the basis of this channel used to be all about, from pixels to plastic. I did a lot of videos in the early days on board games based on video games. I did things like Donkey Kong and Pac-Man, and some of those other games, Legend of Zelda. I had never seen this Double Dragon one before, so this was an insta-buy as soon as I saw it. Look, it's got the same artwork that we saw on like the vintage NES game box. Got that great image of those kids. Look at those kids, they're so excited to be playing Double Dragon. It's in great shape too. Here, let me open it up. I looked through it. I mean, the inside is so clean too. Look at that. I mean, like, it looks like this thing was barely ever played. And it does appear like it's even got like all the pieces, because like I opened this up and like nothing has been even like removed. Nothing's been unpunched. Look at that. I mean, everything is still on the sheet. It's never been opened. It's even got the spinners right there. The sheet of instructions is all right here intact. And then we got the game board. Let's pull that out there. Look at that. How cool is that? The game board has screenshots from the video game on it. How amazing is this? So this has got to be one of my favorite finds from this actual toy shop, man. This is awesome. I mean, I got a lot of great things to say, but this Double Dragon board game, sweet. I mean, this is the kind of thing I don't ever come across this kind of stuff, hardly ever. So when I do, I get really, really excited. There's a lot of, I'm always surprised by the video game board games that are out there, because it's really funny to me to think about, what the, so I just showed you guys those instructions. Those instructions don't go to this game. You probably noticed that when I held it up. I just grabbed it and threw it. I didn't even notice that. Nerf Blast-A-Ball game? Huh. Does anybody need instructions for Nerf Blast-A-Ball game? That's okay. Actually, it looks like the instructions are printed on the actual insert here. Then we also got like game pawns and a dice and the spinner pieces there. That's hilarious. I didn't even notice that. I wonder if anybody's missing those instructions. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I'm always surprised to see what board games were made that were based on video games, because I find it really funny that companies made games based on games. Doesn't that sound like just crazy? So that's why I've always loved them. I always think it's such a fun concept. I've been after stuff like the Super Mario game for a long time, so if anybody out there has any leads on the Super Mario Brothers board game, hit me up. I would love to have it. But I'm glad I got this Double Dragon one. I think this is really, really rad. And I don't know, I'd like to get back to doing some of these video game board game videos at some point. You know, kind of go back to some old From Pixels to Plastic style videos. That's definitely something I've been wanting to do for a long time. It's just finding the time to do it. But when I do, not if, when I do, Double Dragon's on the short list for sure. All right, last thing I picked up. I'm spending a lot of time on this, so I apologize for the long video. This one I'm very excited about. And this might just look like a regular old rubber bat, but some of you guys might know exactly what this is. And this is something I've been wanting to add to my collection for a long time. I did a video on this toy years ago, like way back in the early days, because somebody let me borrow this to do a video on it. This is called Gregori. Like Gregory, but gory. Gregori, the vampire bat. It's a toy that was released by Mattel in 1979. And the reason why this figure or this toy is special and why I wanted it so bad in my collection is because of his action feature. And you might see it there on the chest. He's got this button on the back. Bear in mind this is old, so it's hard to find them still intact. But he has got a blood pumping action feature. And you can kind of see it's still liquid. It's still rolling around in there. It's a little brown and gross at this point, but it's still moving. Yes, my friends, this is where Mosquitor's blood pumping action feature originated. This was the first toy that I'm aware of that had that feature. You can see it looks just like the one. It works the same as the one that's on Mosquitor's chest from the vintage Masters of the Universe line. Mattel was really big into creating action features and kind of like trademarking their action features and then finding ways to reuse them because they owned those action features. In fact, the vintage Masters of the Universe line got to a point where they were basically saying, what toy can we create around this action feature? I mean, if you look at a lot of those figures, right, they've all got like their own unique feature, and that's what the toy was. So this action feature started here with Gregori. There was a couple other toys that Mattel did that used like a blood pumping feature as well, like Pulsar. I've talked about him before. But Gregori is kind of like the origin of Mosquitor. So that's why I was really glad to get him. I've been after him for a while. He's in great shape. They had just got him in at the store. I got him for a really good price. So he's definitely going on display in my collection. Love it. Well, there you go, guys. I've rambled on long enough, but there is my most recent haul from the awesome Big Fun store in Ohio. Special thanks to the awesome owners for the great store, for the great conversation, all these awesome toys. And guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy these videos. I like doing these videos with you guys. You guys seem to be enjoying them. Feel free to leave me comments talking about your favorite toy, or if you've got any info on any of these that I messed up on, or if there's any specific things that you've picked up recently, or that if you've got any of these in your collection, let me know. Let me know about it. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe because that way you'll never miss out on any of these haul videos or any of my toy reviews or any of that other fun stuff I'm doing, or whenever I get back to From Pixels to Plastic videos, that too. Hope you guys are having a great week, a great weekend, and I'll talk to you guys next time.